This is going to be a full video of how I apply my at-home lash segment lash extensions. So it's going to be uncut and unedited. We don't have perfect lighting. It's just going to be real me in my real bathroom putting on my fake lashes. So I actually made a lot of videos about how I apply these when I was with a brand, and I am no longer. So I actually found these on Amazon. I know it's backwards, but this is Flome's brand, and I just searched lash segment extensions on Amazon. There are a ton of options. What I like about these is that they are segmented. You can get ones that's one long ribbon and you cut the length yourself. The width, I suppose I would call it, yourself. I like that these are pieces. I use 3 to 5 of them. With this particular one, I use 4. This is 14 millimeter Glamour. I think I'll make a separate video at some point on how to decide what you need. Some of it's trial and error though. I have a partially hooded eye. My natural lashes are a decent length. They're about the same length as the 12 millimeter lashes that I've worn before. And then of course with mascara, you can make them look longer than that. So the 14 millimeter looks pretty natural on me, but it definitely looks like there's something there. Whether it looks like it's a really good mascara or that maybe I got lash extensions put on or that I'm wearing a fake lash, but they're not so long that they're just really, really out there. And this Glamour style is fanned out a little bit. And if you start looking, you'll notice some of those differences on what they look like. I use 4 of those, and then for my very inner corner, I either don't put anything. I've had people ask me before, well, does it look funny? Does it look like your lashes just stop? But if you look at yourself, you don't see much on that inner corner with your natural lash in most cases anyway. So what you can do is maybe put a little bit of mascara on those very inner ones. I don't put mascara on my fake lashes. If you want to bring them out, or I put a smaller one. I also like this brand. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Balian. I know that's backwards for you, but it's B-E-Y. It came up on a search for me. These have a little bit more of a durable band. So you'll see some of them I actually took off and cleaned and put back in, which I'll talk about separately another time too. In most cases, you don't do that. And I just place one of those on my inner corner. I also have done all of my lashes with these. These are 12 millimeter and they're about the same length as my natural lashes. So when I put them on, it looks very, very natural. Either like I don't have anything on at all, but that you can actually kind of see my lashes, whereas now you really can't see them at all. Or I do 2 layers of them, which probably needs to be a separate video as well. I sandwich them on top and bottom and stagger them a little bit, and then that gives me just maybe the look of some mascara without having to actually put mascara on. And as I said yesterday, I wear these for like 5 to 7 days at a time. It depends. They actually lasted me on a trip I took in which I was in extreme wind on a beach. A storm was coming in and I was on the beach. And you know, sleeping in a bed that wasn't my own, but still nothing abnormal about the bed itself. Traveling on an airplane, just kind of those things being out of my normal routine. They lasted me over a week. I think I took them off on the 8th day, and I probably could have kept wearing them. So it just is going to depend on a lot of factors. I'm also very oily skinned, so in the summer, it's on the shorter end of that time frame that I'm needing to replace them because they're just falling off. Or sometimes if it starts to fall off, you can just either put it back on really quick with some glue or clean it and put it back on. You don't necessarily have to replace the whole lash. So those are all things that I can talk about separately. So for today, I'm just going to show you from start to finish how I put these on. I have curled my lashes. It's very helpful to curl your lashes first. It just makes the application go much easier and makes them stay on better. Also, my face is clean. I just took a shower. I have the rest of my makeup on. I have some foundation, powder, and blush on. If you were wanting to wear eye makeup, I would do that first and put the lashes on very last. But that's also more information than what I need to fit in here about like wearing eye makeup, removing eye makeup when you have these on. I just typically don't wear any. It helps the lashes last longer, and I don't feel that I need it when I have the lashes on. So you need some sort of lash tweezer. I like the shape of this one. It works really well for clamping the lashes on and for grabbing them. You could use a regular tweezer, but the shape of this helps really well. I actually had a friend who I was teaching how to put these on, and she found it easiest to use her hands. So if you have clean fingers, definitely no oils or lotions on your fingers, clean hands, you could even she just stuck them on and pressed them with her fingers. You could try that too. I find it easier to use a tweezer. So when you're pulling these off of their package, you want to grab down towards the base so that you're not pulling lashes out of it. The glue that I use is also found on Amazon. It's Calalis brand, C-A-L. Again, I know it's going to be backwards. This is, it's just called a cluster lash glue. You could look up segment lash glue or cluster lash glue. It's made to go underneath the eyelash. And this is clear. They also have a black formula that I like as well. If you're starting out, I probably would recommend black because it's a little bit more forgiving as far as what will show and won't show on the lash. And it can make your lashes look a little more full because you can see that black glue a little bit. With the clear, I use less, and if you use a lot more, it is going to have a little bit of a white residue look. Otherwise, if you don't use too much, it'll dry and just won't look like anything. So it gives a little more of a natural look. And when you remove it, you have less, I wasn't liking how with the black glue that when I removed it, I would have like little pieces of the black glue in my lashes. With this, it's probably still there. You just don't see it. So I would recommend starting with the black glue if you don't feel that you'll be really comfortable with your application. But I prefer this clear. So when you take it out, it's got a little brush that almost looks like a mascara brush. And I'm just going to brush it on the top, the part that's going to touch the underside of my lash. So this top, as the lash is curled upwards, I'm just brushing it right onto the top. And you don't want to get it on the bottom. It'll make it harder when you're clamping. Some people prefer to paint all of their glue on to their segments before they even take it out of the package and have it ready to go. I like to go one at a time. Your glue will last longer the less that you open it. But I haven't had any issues with this glue drying out. Next, you're going to hold it with your, oh, you can see I got a little bit too much. I got it kind of up the lash a little bit. I think it'll be okay though. If you want extra hold, you could also put some glue on your lashes, almost like you're applying mascara, but not all the way to the tips. But I'm not even going to do that. I just, with the clear, I don't want to have too much glue. So then I'm just holding my tweezers about halfway up the lashes. And I even kind of will put them at an angle a little bit to get it just right on my lashes how I want it. It really helps to have a handheld mirror. This one is really handy because I can set it down, but I can grab it and pick it up if I need to get right up in my face. So I'm just going to be placing it under, just above where my lashes meet my eyelid. You don't want, it's trying to stick to my tweezers. You don't want to have it touch your skin. So that's right where I put it. My lashes actually go down to about here, but I prefer to go up just a little when I apply the segment to kind of give my eye a little bit more of a lifted look. So very versatile that way. So I'm going to pick up my next one. Put a little bit of this lash glue on it. So you can see where doing all this ahead of time might be handy. because it is okay if the glue dries a little bit, if it gets a little bit tacky before you do it, kind of like if you've ever put on a strip eyelash. But I just like going one at a time. So I'm going to have this join the next one. They're not going to overlap, but I also don't want to have a space. It's almost going to be like they're next to each other, kind of holding hands. So if you kind of imagine that, and I'm going to try to get the bottom matched at the same angle where it looks like it's just a continuation of that same strip. So that's number 2. Something that's important with this is don't be afraid to just try it, and don't be afraid of what it's going to look like. Give yourself some time. Maybe do it on a day that you don't have to be anywhere. Definitely don't do it as you're rushing to get ready in the morning. Try these out at a time that you can wrestle with it a little bit, because you're most likely not going to get a perfect application your first time, and you need to just be okay with that. So I have 3 on. At this point, I like to clamp because it helps me not accidentally hit into one of these and get them off angle when I'm applying the last one. Before you clamp, you want to make sure that you have them where you want them. So I'm just sliding the tweezers over it and squeezing, and then I'm gently rolling up toward my lid. Oh, see, one came with it. So we have some glue on the tweezers, which is going to make the lash then stick to the tweezers. I'm just using my hands to kind of wipe it off. Sometimes I'll also use a Q-tip with some rubbing alcohol. And if it gets really gunky, then I use some oil. I have just a little container of coconut oil here to break it down, and then clean it very thoroughly so there's no oil left on the tweezers. So if you have a lot of sticking issues, you'll want to do that. Okay, let's try that again. Clamp, and then I'm just rolling it toward myself to remove that. Then we're going to do one more, and then I'll do my little inner corner. I just have an open drawer here where I set the package to make it easy for me to grab it, or you could just have it sitting on your counter. So I just do a little dab. That's actually more glue than I usually do, but I just do a little dab of glue. The more glue that you use, and if you do a layer on your own lashes first and have them join, you will get a longer wear. I would rather have to redo them after 5 days and get like a fresh looking application after that than to have them stay on for, like some people wear theirs for up to 2 weeks. Even when I was wearing lashes made to last that long, I just preferred not to wear them that long. Once my lashes start growing out, I just didn't want to still have them on. I'd rather have a fresh set, but it is nice to be able to wear them for several days. And that's several mornings of not having to do anything. Maybe clamping after a shower, maybe using the eyelash curler to kind of get them shaped right. So do you see how it didn't clamp how I wanted? So I'm just grabbing it and putting it right back on again. And the more practice you have, the easier that little process will be. But even after I've been wearing these for over a year, I still need a little bit of repositioning sometimes, and that's okay. So sometimes I will leave it like this, but I am going to put one more shorter segment there closer to my inner corner. So the same thing with these, I'm just going to grab it close to the base. So you can see that little one. This one is called I guess this one doesn't have a name, but it has a little bit of different lengths within it and a little bit of fanning out, and so it just looks really natural. You can look up online different types of curl. There's C curl and D curl, and there are all different shapes of these, and you can figure out what you like the best for your eye shape and your eye size. and the amount of space you have between your brow and your eyelid. I like more of a gentle curl, which I think is called a C curl. I'm not even remembering off the top of my head. Once I found one, a lash that I like, I've just been sticking with that. But there are many different styles. You can get ones that look more spiky, that have more varying lengths, varying thickness. You can get very thick looking ones. So do you see how the inner corner just looks a little bit more natural with that one? Don't poke yourself in the eye with your tweezers. As I clamp, I'm kind of pointing up to get it clamped on in kind of an upward motion. Now, once you get this on, if you can feel it, if it feels like it's poking you in the eye, or it's making your eye water, it feels like it's really close to the skin, you probably have it applied too close and you need to pull it off and push it up the lash just a little bit. Don't poke yourself in the eye with your tweezers again. So if you can see, there's a tiny bit of space between where my lash grows out and where the segment is. You only see it if you get right up into your eyeball and look at it, which nobody's going to be looking at you that way. So there you go. I'm noticing a little bit of space right here. I'm going to see how it kind of looks throughout the day. If I need to, I might pull one off and readjust how it's applied. You want to always follow the directions on your package as far as eye safety and sanitation. Anything that you're putting near your eye, you want to make sure that you're not sharing glue with somebody else, that you're not re-wearing these unless you've properly sanitized them, which most of them on the package would recommend that you just wear them the one time. I do clean them with some rubbing alcohol, and if they seem like they're ready to be worn again, or able to be worn again, they're not. This brand, the lashes tend to start falling out once I clean them off, and they kind of lose their shape. And so once it's been 5 or 7 days, then those are usually done. But these Bellion ones, I have found these are ones that I've cleaned really thoroughly with soap and water, dried, used a Q-tip dipped in rubbing alcohol, or even dipped the lash itself into some rubbing alcohol just to get that really clean. So do that at your own risk, because anytime that you're using something near your eye, you want to be really clean and sanitary, of course, so that you don't risk anything with that. So that's on. So we've got 4 of that one and 1 of the 12 millimeter. This is 14 millimeter. This is 12 millimeter. So this is what a 14 millimeter lash looks like on me. You can get ones that are longer to the outside if you want a little bit more of a cat eye look. You can get ones that are longer in the middle if you want a little bit more of a doll eye look. These are just kind of even, so they just follow the curve of my eyelid. So there you go.